There is no one job that can survive you in Canada anymore. Before you lose that job, please go and get your second skill and start looking for something else to do to complement whatever you have right now, because that is where the whole thing is going.
Hello viewers, another exciting episode on Talk with Mo. With me in the studio today is Risikat Olasumbo Awogbemi.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today. Now, I met you a few weeks ago at a networking event, and I was just inspired by the little I knew about you. And I thought you have to share your story with our audience because it's so inspiring. First of all, as a family law lawyer, I know the pain of separation from marriage. I know the pain that kids go through. I have seen that from a distance because I can never understand what that feels like because I haven't experienced it. So before we get into talking about you, see, I'm already carried away. Before we get talking about you, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? We've met you. We know that you're Risikat Olasumbo Awogbemi. So who is Risikat? What do you do?
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for having me here today. So all about Risikat. Risikat is, I'll start by saying a mom to 4 boys. And by profession, I am a project professional. And I am also into transportation.
Wow.
I'm into logistics. So by God's grace, I own a business by the name SMTN International Inc. And what we majorly do is to move the world around.
Move the world around.
So we can ship to any country that you want. It's a worldwide business. So we've been able to create our own office in Lagos, Canada here. And we also have an office, a physical office also in the US, as well as in the UK. So with those 4 points, we are able to touch base with like everywhere around the world, around the globe. So basically
you really are moving the world. Yeah, moving stuff around the world. That's wonderful. And you're a project manager as well, project professional. That's wonderful. Now, when you say you have 4 boys, I'm sure people are thinking, oh, she has 4 boys. They're probably small boys. But I think these are men. What are the ages of your children?
The first is about 28 years old and my baby is 19 years old.
Your baby. I love the way you say your baby. Now, I mean, what intrigued me about you when I met you was when I saw the photos of your 4 big men. And then to hear that you're a single mom and then you're thriving. And no, this is just an applaud rather, to all the single parents out there. I don't believe they're just single moms. There are also a lot of single dads. But I just want to applaud all the single parents out there. You guys are doing amazing, fantastic work. The work for 2 people. I mean, even 2 people are not able to parent, not to talk of one person shouldering it. So I applaud you all and God bless you and continue to help you in all the ways that you're needing help. So Sumbo, parenting 4 boys by yourself in Canada. I mean, back home in Nigeria, we have domestic help. We have our grandparents, parents, people who would a huge support system from the community.
Yeah.
But here in Canada, we're often alone. You know, I mean, friends can help every now and then, but not like consistent help.
The family support that we have from back home, yeah.
So tell me, how did this all happen? How did you get into the space of single parenting?
Okay, so actually, we migrated to Canada in the year 2006, about 18 years ago now.
18 years.
So I came with my family, my husband and my kids, and you know, the struggle of getting a job in Canada and all those things. So we went through thick and thin and nothing was really working. It was like, oh, why did we even come to Canada in the first place? But we have our kids here and we say, okay, this could be better for them. And we decided to stay.
Mm-hmm.
But when my partner couldn't get a good job like where we were coming from, so, and we also have a business already in Nigeria before we came here, so he had decided to go back to the business while I'm taking care of the kids here. And that's where the whole story started. So so many people will find themselves in that
situation.
But even if that happened, yes, I don't really I won't really support a distance relationship because to a larger extent it doesn't really build, it breaks. If care is not taken, it breaks.
If care, I think the key watch word is if care is not taken.
Because it will take like not even effort, double effort, extra miles for you guys to be able to put it together, understand it. Because there's no way you are distant from each other. There will be gaps coming in.
Of course.
Maybe you didn't hear me well, I didn't hear you well. The communication will break down. A lot of things will happen. So it takes a lot of effort for you to be able to hold it together. But that being said, if things work out well, perfect, good. So, but me, I'm not a supporter of
long distance relationship because of your experience.
It didn't really work for me, despite the fact that I tried everything that I could do. So it didn't work. So, and that was where the whole thing. So I've lived here almost like all my life in Canada alone.
18 years.
With my kids. So I practically my kids grew up, like we grew up together. We do every little thing together. They are wonderful kids, very supportive, and we went through everything together, and they're very awesome ones.
When you say we went through everything together, many families, when they are going through a breakup in the marriage, the kids are not even, they know there's friction, but the kids are not told what's going on. So was there a time when you called your kids and say, hey, this is happening and we're going to be together alone? Was there a time that ever happened?
So maybe, yeah, I would say something like that happened, that because these are living human beings too. They see, they hear. If you accept you're living a double life, there is no way you're going through anything as a parent that your children will not know that you're going through, except there is no closeness between you and your kids. So it is, I live with practically every day of my life. They see me growing old. They see me with everything I do. I see them growing up. There is no way they cannot know if something is not going right. They will know. If mom is not happy, if dad is not, they will definitely know. So they've seen all this through. And when it's time for us to discuss about it, yes, we did that. Okay, it doesn't really looks like it's working. I need my happiness. I need to be safe. And that is where, at that point, that we have to, talk about it.
Now, I know that many people don't like to talk about the details of what happened. And I respect that if you're not willing to talk about it. But was there abuse in the marriage?
Yes.
At some point. There was abuse.
Because, and when you talk about abuse, what kind of abuse?
I'm happy you're talking about that, because for so many people, not until they've laid hands on you, they don't consider it abuse. No. So I'd like for you, if you don't mind.
If you're talking about abuse, I would rather prefer that we talk about every abuse, because there could be emotional abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, even mental abuse. Like, there's so much of it. So yes, of course there was an abuse, and for every individual, there is much that you can take. And for the fact that I have the kids here with me, and I have to make sure that not only that I am functioning, but the kids, they need to be functioning too. The whole system, family system, is upon my shoulder to make sure that nobody is falling behind, everybody's okay, the family is running.
That's well. A lot.
There is happiness in the home. So it takes a lot from whoever parents, or whichever of the parents that is with the children, supporting the kids. It's like taking everything out of you. And you want to see that the family is running, there is space, the children are okay, they're happy. You're giving everything that you can. So even that alone, it's too much for somebody.
It is.
It can break you.
It is.
So it to me, I even see that also as an abuse, because the other partner may not be thinking that we are not superwoman. I'm not a superwoman. If it's a man, they're not supermen too. So we should always look at it that if we come together to create a family, we're totally
be responsible.
Whatever decision we're making in life, we should put the family in consideration. Yes. How will this decision affect the rest of the family members? So if you're a parent and you're not thinking how your decision for anything will affect your immediate family, you are abusing your partner. Because you're giving all the load on them to do. You're putting too much on their plate.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, your boys are grown, and while we were off camera, you had talked about celebrating your birthday recently, 50. Wow, that's a milestone. And how supportive they are.
They are very, very awesome boys, and I really appreciate God for giving me wonderful kids like that. Throughout the whole thing, like, not only for my birthday, all along, they've been very, very good boys, responsible boys. They care for me. They see how much I've put in to care for them in their growing up. Like, they are boys. We do all kind of sports.
Oh, okay. So you are one of those.
Every corner of this.
Mom. Sports mom.
I'm a soccer mom.
A soccer mom, a hockey mom.
Honestly, like, they don't just play. We play together, because every time you have maybe like summer, you have your ward put in a group, and they have coach. But other coach, they know me because I coach. And one time that one of our coach went on vacation, and now the whole parents were saying, so who is going to be coaching our kids for 2 weeks that this man is going? And everybody thought to me, even men, women, they all thought. I said, no. They said, no, you are going to do it.
You do the coach.
Already. Because, and that is where...
So you are very involved. You're very involved.
Very, very involved with them. In fact, they don't want to move, drag their feet. I will push them on the field. Oh, yeah, go, run. Even with the other kids that they are playing together. This is where I see me giving my support to my kids. They see how much I come to do for them, and they do the same thing back to me. So I'm just going to encourage parents, as much effort or support you can give to your kids, go extra length. Because they see what you're doing. You'll be surprised by the time they start giving it back to you. They will surely give it back to you.
Because they've seen.
You need to invest. It's like investment. You need to invest your time, your effort, everything in your kids. You'll get a return back. And that is the way I see it today. I love my boys, and they are very awesome to me.
I'm sure they love you.
I can't even describe.
I'm sure they love you right back. Yes. Wow, Simbo, well done.
Thank you.
Well done. So SMTN Cargo, that's the name of your business?
Yes.
What does SMTN stand? I was just like, this has to stand for something. It can't be random.
Okay, so for SMTN, they're actually the first letter of my 4 kids.
Of your 4 boys. Yes. Oh,
they
interesting.
For each of my boys.
Their initials, their first. Oh, that's wonderful. And what led you into that business? What led you into cargo? When did you start that business, by the way?
Okay, so I actually had my master degree in transportation even before I moved to Canada. So I did my postgraduate degree and my master degree in transportation, and specialized in physical distribution and logistics. Yeah. So, and coming down to Canada, but before we came here, I was into sale of spare parts. And when I talk about spare parts, not just car spare parts, heavy equipment,
automobiles and everything,
like heavy duty equipment. Like, talk about payloader, crane, like Komatsu, Caterpillar.
Yes.
Those are what I was dealing on while I was in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
So coming here, I started sourcing for such items too.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a lot because while we were over in Nigeria, we will buy from abroad and ship down to Nigeria.
Of course.
So the same thing, I got a lot of lead and I was able to get where to be buying from all these things. But the problem I had was moving it back home. It becomes so much difficult shipping them back home. It's costing us like crazy, a lot of money. So I started looking for how to go around this, and that's where the idea for shipping. It was a need that I needed. It came as a need, and I worked around it. And I look at it that if I'm needing this kind of a service, other people around me also need it. So I decided to bring in the community to help my community. Like, if you have anything that you want to ship, because I ship every week, I buy spare parts every week, and so I bring it other people's in and I ship together. And that's where the idea for shipping came in, and then it became a passion for me, and more so that I'm able to reach out and help other people within the community. So
I know you came into Canada in 2006. When did you start working?
Okay, so I came in with little kids.
Yes.
And before I left home, I've had a lot, like I made research, what is going to happen when we get to Canada? And, they will not let you go out when you have kids. You have to stay with them. I say, me, I'm not that kind of okay. What will I do? If I don't work, how will I survive? And I don't like just to sit
idle.
So I decided to go learn how to plait hair. So I went to learn how to plait hair at Ikeja. So after doing that for like 3 months, I came here, and then me sitting down at home with the kids, I started by plaiting people's hair.
To make
I will
some
braid
income.
this kind of your hair, I will braid it. I do twist a lot, I do fixing, weave on. Nothing that I don't do in my home while taking care of my baby.
You are a woman of many talents.
So I was doing that practically, like fixing people's hair, and it was a good business for me. Then I also started picking up some shifts. Like I had the opportunity that government was able to support me with my kids, take care of my kids for me. So I would go out and do 4 hours,
here
6
and
hours
there
job, and come back home so that I can pick up my children. I don't have anybody to do that for me. So I have to go to work, pick them. So I was just doing so many things. Not until the business, I said, okay, I find out that I can also be doing the shipping. So I started shipping right from my home, my 2-bedroom flats. That's where I started shipping from. Among all other things that I do so many things. What
you have just demonstrated is there's no excuse for any woman who comes to Canada and say, well, there's no work. And because there's no work, everything is. So if there's no work, you can learn something that you can do right out. You can learn tailoring. I know that there are people coming in now that they are tailors, and that is a huge need here.
I'm telling you.
Tailoring, hairdressing, even taking care of kids.
Yes. So I did so, like even before I got here, I've already known that, what they told me that if they're not 13 years old, you can't leave
of
them
course.
at home.
Yes.
So I'm coming in with, even my baby was about 11, just not up to 1 year when we came in. Yeah. So I will definitely stay at home, but I must be doing something. So even if I plait somebody's hair, I'm not able to get $40, I can go get grocery and all the things at home. So that's where my own is. And it doesn't mean that if you're here, you have kids. Yeah. One challenge that I have was going back to school or getting a job that I desire, like I want to work in the bank. But when I look at every little minute, if my kid forgets his food, they're going to call me.
They'll call you.
So it's the challenge I had was I couldn't go for a job that can take me away from home. I can only do the job that I know I can get to my kids at any time.
When they need you.
When they need me. So max that I would go out to work would be 4 hours. 3 hours. 6 hours. I won't do more than that so that I can quickly come back home. So it limited me for a while, not forever.
Of course.
But I was able to be picking
because the kids are growing as well.
Yes, I was able to play. But as soon as my baby turned 12, I went back to school. I went to Umba College.
You were determined.
So I went back to, I said, okay, this is 12, they can all stay by themselves now. So I went and did my project management course, another postgraduate course year. So I did my Umba College and I finished and I wrote my exams, project management professional, PMP. I passed and I got certified. So it's just been good since then.
I'm just staring at you like you're just so inspiring, Sumbo.
So as a mother or whoever that you think you have kids, it's not easy to start all over again because most of us come here, but it's very, very challenging. But it's just, you need to plan yourself. You need to know where you can fit in, and please go for it. Whatever little things that you can do, train yourself, learn some handwork. There's a lot of programs going on that you can develop new skills. If you come to Canada, you are working and you lose your job. Canada also provide, they call it a second skill. Why can't you even start doing your second? There's no one job that can survive you in Canada anymore. So you should, before you lose that job, please go and get your second skill.
Thank you.
Go get your second skill and start looking for something else to do to complement whatever you have right now, because that is where the whole thing is going. You can't maintain yourself with
one job. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Add more skills.
There are lots of jobs that you can do remotely right now. That means you can do 2, 3, 4 jobs at the same time. Yeah. Wow. So for all my jackpa people that are looking to just jackpot without doing the research, please listen to Sumbo. This was as far back as 2006. She did her research. You might say, I don't have internet, I don't have NEPA. You are without any excuse. Yeah. If in 2006, Sumbo could do her research, get to understand that she cannot leave her kids at home by themselves, and she went to learn hairdressing. Yeah. You have no excuse. Please learn a skill. And if you're here and you're just relying on one job, you've heard her. She has her business. She's a project manager. And on top of that, she's learning more and more. You are without excuse. I'm inspired. Thank you.
Can bring in a lot to the family and keep yourself going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sumbo, you're a hardworking woman. That will be an understatement. What keeps you awake at night? What scares you? What are your greatest fears?
So for my fears, like, I've been alone with my kids for some time. I don't want that to repeat in their life. So the fact that as a community, we need to be conscious of what our children go through. Because I sat down and I look at it, situation and children, and I look at that. It's a societal problem. And when any child grows up in a domestic violence environment, if we are not careful, if the society is not looking towards that, we recycle it. So those children today, they are the adults of tomorrow. What can they give to the society? So I want all children to be cared for, whether you are in a complete set of a family setting or you are just by one single parent. Every child have right to live in a good and peaceful environment because we want to stop recycling
the abuse and their own negative experiences.
What can they offer? And that is why I give everything that I can to make sure that my children are happy, they're loving, and they enjoy whichever environment that they grow up for, so that they become responsible men tomorrow, because these are the men that we father or be the husbands to other women. We don't want any home to be breaking, but we want as community to come together to educate ourselves, our men, our women, that there is opportunity for us to live in a good environment if we support one another. Because to tell you the truth, we see a lot of abuse or marriage breaking because maybe they are not supporting each other, and there is no fear of God
Hmm.
in relating with one another. Because if you have the
Absolutely.
fear of God and
You will
relate
not
with
do.
you will consider so many other things and cater for your family, or stay with your woman, stay with your man, and help the children that are growing up in it. I have an NGO for I don't call it abused women, but I called it Women and Family Matters. Because to be sincere with you, there is no joy in marriage breaking up.
No.
And there is no joy in you abusing one person or the other. So I don't really want to put it like abused women, but I want it to be more dignifying. These are women. If a woman can raise family, cater for a family, so what are we talking about? So
that's generations. She's raising generations.
Everybody to feel dignified, to be a woman, and to have that ability to raise, to care, to cater for a family. So whatever all this is just about trying to intervene in families, not to see family breaking up, but to gather together, putting especially the children in consideration. Children go through a lot.
They do. They do.
If a woman suffers, the children suffers. That's what it is. So we need to educate ourselves, men, women. We need to understand the fact that there's a lot of support that you as a person can give to the next family that is beside you, so that they can live well. Let the man understand, let the woman understand, let the children know where their own place to. Let the family come together and build, not to destroy.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. And thank you for that work. Women and Family Matters.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yes.
That's important work you're doing. So on top of everything else, you also have this NGO. I think you're like an onion. The more we peel, the more we find. The more we peel, the more we find. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. So, I mean, I know we've talked about that's one of your greatest fears, and it's a valid... damaged children. A lot of damage. And that has to take intentionality in how we invest into our children today. Yes. And that's what you're doing. I tell
my kids every day, you're going to be the husband of another lady. You're not going to treat anybody's bad. You're going to treat them well.
Wow.
Like every time I let it register into them, because they are little boys today, but they are men tomorrow. They're going to be men tomorrow.
Sumbo, your kind of thinking is different, because for others who have gone through the bitterness, the pain of a breakup, what they keep saying to their children will be something negative, not futuristic like you were looking at. They're just going to say, you better sit up, all you men, you are alike. And so those kind of messaging has a lot of impact on the children. But you are building yours up to say, hey, you're going to be somebody's husband tomorrow. I need you to sit up and face up to your responsibilities.
To be able to cater for her. Honestly, like I'm telling my kids, I don't know what others like. If your job take you somewhere, take your family there. Don't leave your family behind. Like it's part of what I practically tell my kids at home. You're going to be somebody's husband tomorrow. And I needed to do a good job for that lady. And to run it all, I pray for the mothers,
for the
wives of my kids, because they're doing a good job right now. And I pray they will continue to do. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be my own daughter-in-law.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have them as my daughter. I want to enjoy them.
Wow, you are a rare breed.
I pray for their mothers that I don't know now. And I tell my kids, you're going to be an awesome dad.
Amen.
You're going to be an awesome partner.
Husband. Amen.
And we need to start talking to our boys. We need to start letting them know the things that are not right, that they can't do it. I tell you the truth, men, boys, they don't want anything to harm their mom. So you don't want anything to do with me? You must have that kind of mindset towards
your wife.
You must take care of her. And sometimes they don't even want to hear that. I'm going to be solidly behind her. If you try nonsense, I'm here. You would think that I'm not your mom. So they know what to do. So that's
any of them,
we need to make sure that we grow up men that are responsible.
Absolutely.
It is our duty.
It
we
is.
Are the mothers. We are the women.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, we can't say that enough. But thank you. It's such a great reminder. And are any of your kids dating right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they're. And they are fine boys. I saw their pictures. I was like, I should look at them properly and start introducing them to those that I know.
They are dating, and trust me, I'm happy, like, whoever they are dating, so long they know God, like, have the fear of God. Like I used to say, please, you have to treat each other with the fear of God.
It's the fear of God, isn't it?
Part of what a lot of family are missing. That is God's issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And God said it, that the greatest commandment is love the Lord with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and then love one another.
That's it.
So, and if we really do follow that, there'll be less hurt in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not a time to push hatred anymore, to push discord, but it's a time
to build up,
to show them that's not really right. Why don't you do this? Just like, the Bible says, Moses says, this is life, this is death, this is life. So our children, we need to let them know that some things are not really right. If you don't like it, that it happened to me, please don't do it.
Don't do it.
So grow up being a responsible man.
Yeah.
We need to just preach that, put that gospel out, so that we have a better life in the nearest future. We don't want to recycle damage in relationship for it to continue to go on and on. It needs to stop.
Absolutely. As we talk about the boys and love and all of that, it makes me wonder, is there any space in your heart for love at this time? Is it something that you will consider at some point?
Of course, because if you don't, it's let me put it this way, that it's part of life and part of living. One needs to balance life.
Absolutely.
You have to balance it no matter what you're going through. It doesn't mean that the next relationship is going to be bad. There should be caution. You should know what you're doing. You should open your eyes.
Because you're wiser now.
You should see, and you should know the red flags and everything. So, and above all, take your time. Don't rush too much into getting into another relationship. But there should be room. You shouldn't close that room, because it's part of living.
You are just a different breed. Sumo, you're just like a textbook, or,
Before, sometimes I would say, there is no love, because the only place I see love is in the I watch movie. I see love displayed, but
everything is perfect on TV.
Yes, it's perfect. So that's there. And I also found love in songs. I love songs. And I love songs so much. I encourage myself. I love to sing. I love music a lot. There is some music when they are singing about love,
you'll be crying.
Your head will be funny. You like. So yeah, enjoy it.
Love is good.
You can listen to a lot of music, because if except you don't believe in God, because God is love. So you can't close that heart of yours.
God is love.
Absolutely. You find it, the one that will be perfect for you. You may take time, be patient, look, open your eyes wide. It will come one day.
It will come.
Yeah.
We're rooting for you that it will come. So if you don't mind my asking, what's the relationship you have with the father of your children, and what's their relationship with him now? What does that look like?
From the onset, I made a promise that even, the way they used to say, custody 50-50 or whatever, I don't want all those calculations. Me, I will give him 300 access, 300%. If it means that you go up to that, I will give him up to that. I don't believe in denying the man access. So as much as he can, I'm not interfering. they have a very good relationship with their father. They talk with him and it's good. Yeah. So I don't have any. If it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that we are enemies. It doesn't mean we should close all doors, because we give room for a better thing to happen. But if you do all that, then the room is not going to come.
It's not going to come. Yeah.
So, and how are we teaching the younger ones to be good ones then? If we cannot show that example, that look, it just didn't work between me and him, but you guys, there's no other father for you. Oh yeah, make sure you have a perfect relationship.
Oh, I could talk to you all day. You know, I tell some of my clients, my family law clients. Yeah, I tell them, I said, the fact that he's a lousy husband does not make him a bad father.
No.
You know, so it just didn't work between the two of you, but he might be a great dad. So let's give him that.
So let's give him the opportunity to still be the father of the children. So you don't have to close.
Thank you for being such a stellar example, doing all of that.
I don't believe in blocking all the ways. No, for what?
Yes. Yeah.
They need him.
They do.
Love him.
They
Their
do.
dad.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's in honestly, that could also even be teaching him some lessons, and it could change so that when he even eventually meets somebody else too, he would do a better job there. We should learn from our mistakes. That's how I feel it should be.
Wow. I don't want this to end, but yeah, our time is up. Sumbo, do you have any last words you want to share with us? Maybe something we don't know about you.
Okay. So if I'm gonna say anything, I would say God is love, and I want us to remember that always, that the next person beside you, you should treat them with love. You should care for them truly. So it's better to spread love than to spread hatred. So let's just work towards making this life a better place for everybody, whether it's your husband or your wife, your children, the neighbors that are next to you. Just make life livable for all.
Oh, can I hug you? Oh, wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Sumbo. Thank you for giving this honest interview and just for the opportunity for us to get to know you better. And I hope that you've learned a lot, whether you're a single parent, a single mom, a single dad, whether you're planning to come to Canada, whether you have one job and you're struggling and you're thinking of, maybe I should not. There's just so much nugget. This woman is a powerhouse. I have no other words to describe her. Sumbo, thank you. I applaud you for all that you are and all that you have done and are doing. You are an inspiration to our generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure and a privilege to meet you and to get to know you. Thank you for coming. And I'm glad that we can share you with our audience. Thank you for that. So until next time, take good care of yourself and God bless you. Catch you later.